What is going on, everyone? My name's Boit, and I'm back with some more Age of Mythology retold shenanigans in the left-hand corner of the map, playing as the one, the only, Ra. His name is Jollyman the Great. His opponent today, in the red color, playing as Noir, the Beautiful. Look at her. Look at her go. She's enjoying lifting her little stone. Okay. Now, I know that it's just a game. I know that there's a lot of things in this game that don't necessarily carry true to logic and reason and all the other stuff. But how is that rock levitating? Is there a string? It's got to be a string, right? There's a string coming from over here down to there that holds it. But it should be like swaying in the wind though, no, right? Like it should just be like slightly moving back and forth. Okay. We're paying attention to the important things in this game right now. And I'm just going to move on. I actually had no idea that Noir had a little lizard tail. Good to know. Alrighty. Let's see what's going to happen. Over here, we've got some relics. We've got the Aria's crown. Always nice to reduce that town center cost. Up here, we've got 5 colored stone of Noir. On the bottom side here, we've got the Archimedes' ledger. And dwarven horseshoes. I mean, just to make a comparison here, this is the Ra one. Everything here makes sense. He's holding his little staff thingamajiggy. He's standing up nicely. He's got a couple of cracks in his stone here or whatever. A little bit of wear and tear from the years that he's been standing here for. Meanwhile, literal pristine condition. Literally. Doesn't get... It's like they just got built yesterday. Anyways. Magnets? Oh, it could be magnets. Do you reckon they had magnets back in ancient Chinese times? They had to. It's this China has... They did it all. They did it all. All right. Anyways, let's talk about the game. So Ra versus Noir. There's a couple of options here to go for the Ra side of things. One being a nice classical fight with really, really heavy vision control, putting obelisks everywhere. As you can see, Jollyman's already starting to get himself some obelisks up. That can be really, really powerful. The next sort of way to go is a very quick second town center, which, while I think Noir can technically cause some problems for you on, if you get yourself out a couple of priests, you can just out-heal the damage that any of those early... what are they called? Pioneers do, and you're completely fine. So you can go for an early second town center and go into things like fast heroic or a classical fight off of the Sioux town center, whatever you really feel like, and take the game that way and find some angles to victory. So we'll see what Jollyman's going to go for. He's going for a second monument. It kind of looks like he's going for some sort of a classical angle here. Does he have any wood? No, he's not going for a classical angle with 0 on wood. But he's got a lot on food. Maybe he's going to go for some early spearmen and try and deny a town center or something from Chemo. That can work. That can work. And then you can go into your second town center a little bit later or play however you like as the Guafu hero on the way forward. Grabbing this very forward town center. He probably won't even need to shifting sands over to it, but he does see the obelisk, the Guafu coming forward. He doesn't even try and hide it. He's just like, hello? Wait, is he rushing? Hello? Chemo? Chemo? Hello? He just liked the view. He was just like, okay, I'm going to stare hard into your soul and we'll see what happens here. There's a armory coming up. He's going for a fast heroic. This guy's crazy. I thought it was going to be one barracks, empower the barracks up, spam spearmen, shifting sands onto the town center, kill the town center, and go from there. But Jollyman's going for fast heroic. Is this going to be a 645 as well? Oof. One quick boy. Now, here's the thing with fast heroics. You absolutely need to get some real significant damage done. And unfortunately, for Ra players and Sobek lovers alike, there was a change that happened going into this patch, which personally I'm still not a fan of. I'm not here to change anyone's opinion on it. You guys can tell me what you think. There was a change here where survival equipment went into the classical age, which basically means that Locust will probably never get any significant damage done to any villages. So you really only can use it on armies if your opponent's got that, or with a very heavy raid. So that's number one. So Sobek's not really an option on the fast track. The next option is to go for what we're seeing here, which is Sekhmet. Now, so the next option is to go for Sekhmet. So he's going to make some Scarabs and try and push forward. If you can make some Scarabs and some anti-hero units like Slinger, maybe some Chariots potentially, something like that, maybe that can work. Or he could, yeah, maybe he could go for Barracks units, but it looks like he's probably going to move over to the Gold Mine, drop a Migdol Stronghold and see what's going to happen. Now, because Chemo's gone for a far second town center, he's not going to have anything out at the moment. He might even be going for 2 town center fast stroke, which is exactly what he is going for. So very, very fast advance here for... Kind of a fast advance here for Chemo. I think if you're used to playing as... If you're used to playing as Egyptians, you're used to seeing like a 2 town center 8-minute heroic age. So getting yourself like an 8-minute 30, 8-minute 40-ish heroic age as China, that's pretty quick. That's pretty quick. But double Scarabs now out. Definitely walking forward and trying to take out these earth walls is good, but he's going to be giving away the fact that he does have Scarabs here, and some heroes are going to be very necessary. And let's have a quick look. Does Chemo have himself the Imperial Academy? Not just yet, but he is building it. There's the Qualfu hero. This guy's actually not that good at taking out Scarabs. Like, he is surprisingly shit at taking out Scarabs. It's because he's doing pierce damage, I guess. Mostly pierce damage in these guys. You've got 75% pierce armor as the Chariot Archer's getting a little bit of damage onto that hero. Qualfu does manage to retreat back. Another little segment of the Earth Wall going down. As Jollyman continues to break through this. Now, one thing here for Chemo is to just say, oh, you've gone 1 town center full all in the heroic age. Let me just retreat. As he does drop the, what's this thing called? Forest protection. Those pioneers to pop out here. This is really, really dangerous for Jollyman to make this push happen. Probably overstaying his welcome here. Good defense from Chemo. Jollyman, does he kill off the towns? I don't think he's going to kill off the town center here. Scarab goes down. Town center down to 942 HP. Retreats back up to the top. It's only it's 32 to 36 villages, so it's pretty close. Not exactly sure how it's so close. Wait. Huh? What? What am I? What was that? What am I? Oh, raids! There's raids happening. All right, guys. Yeah. Look, there's some problems. It's fine. We're gonna sort it out. My brain's not working at the moment. Great raids from Jollyman. He's managed to get this game into an equal position after all is said and done. Does not manage to kill off the town center, but equal position now. He's picked off so many villages. He can arguably go for a town center at the moment. You can continue to put pressure on and keep trying to get big raids, keep the military edge going, but has to keep on getting good damage done if he does that. So I think generally speaking at this stage, it's probably, after you get all that damage done, it's probably best to just drop the town center and keep on trying to poke, not losing anything. But not happening just yet. One more villager goes down. The Tao Wu coming through being very scary, but sniping down a couple of those pioneers here as ballistics almost in. Once that's through, then this poking from the chariot arch just becomes incredibly potent. Chemo at the moment does have himself a ballet coming up on this position. He's got himself a huge amount of food and gold to pump these White Horse cavalry out. As bow saw heavy chariots to come in. And we'll see where to next. Siege towers coming out for our main man, Jolly Man. He's still trying to break through. I think one other option here for Jolly Man would be to empower out this upgrade and get himself catapults to siege this down. Takes a little bit of time, but it's well worth it. He is going to be going for Force of the West Wind now. But you do need to empower it out because it takes so long, 90 seconds. If you get the Pharaoh onto it, it basically finishes in like 20 or 30 seconds or something. But another nice raid onto this Berry Bush shenanigans here. He's still keeping Chemo at bay. Chemo's trying to get a heroic age out here. Sorry, a mythic age out here. Absolutely wild that he's trying this still. He's taking a huge amount of damage. I think if Jolly Man maybe read this a little bit better and got this catapult going, I think this position would be completely done for. But nonetheless, huge amounts of villager kills from Jolly Man here as the villager's going to dive into the town center. Chariot archers to retreat back. Another ballet coming up on the bottom of the map here. There is access to shifting sand, so he can pull over here and shifting sand onto this. He can pull onto this, shifting sand onto these Quaofu if he wants to. More villagers getting picked off underneath the town center. Chemo is just not caring in the slightest about this. So much damage from Jolly Man here as the siege tower now rolling in. Force of the West Wind slowly trickling through as Gong Gong going to be coming in. And we do indeed see the shifting sands to come through. A handful of chariot archers in, sniping a couple more of those peasants here. There's Quaofu are the big ones you want to be sniping if you can. But unfortunately for Jolly Man, he doesn't quite manage to get in here. These berry bush gathering peasants very much out in the open, and Jolly Man will be noticing this as he pops through the ballet here. A little bit of pain, but sitting underneath this one. Great little move there from Jolly Man to get underneath that as the Tao Wu coming through. This thing does not have its upgrade just yet, but still some significant damage as Jolly needs to pull out of here. Still trying to push in onto the front for the time being. Siege towers to pull back, and now we've got the catapult. As you can siege this position down very easily. However, Gong Gong in will mean Great Flood, and that'll mean a little bit of a difficult time ahead for Jolly Man. He's now going for that second town center. Raids hitting onto this position. What was that? Could be a dead dude. Chemo just doesn't even care about his villagers in this game. He's at 41 villagers. 41. He's going to drop down to 40 after this one goes down. Don't make me a liar. 40. Nonetheless, the ballet over here going to be going down. Chemo, he still doesn't have any military units. He still has no military units. What is happening in this game? As the army all moving up onto this position here. Great Flood will get dropped in, sending these units packing for the time being, but they are all going to get healed back up by Jollyman, making a little bit of damage into the main base, but it's not that big of a deal. Not a huge amount of losses there. We do see the creation god power getting dropped down over here. It's 12 villages in the Mythic Age. 75 favor is not a small amount, which does mean that there's not going to be that many of those dragons. Those Ying... Is it Yinglong? Qinglong? The Qinglongs. Not that many of them. As a Chariot Archer still coming in, poking. Do we see another catapult coming out? Yes, we do. And now Chemo finally says it's time to start building the heavy target cavalry. Conscript ballet soldiers coming through. And those heavy target cavalry are going to go from what to what? How fast are they training at the moment? 7 seconds. Pretty quick. 7 seconds. Pretty quick. As the Tao Wu charges in. Sends a couple of Chariot Archers flying here. The Qinglong kind of misses the entirety of that army there, but that's fine. Meanwhile, into the main base, Camel Riders coming. There is a ballet coming up onto this position, but however, the raid here will be nice. Will be a couple of dead villagers. Chemo does have himself some upgrades. He's going to turn around and actually shank this because the Camel Riders aren't that powerful here. No upgrades on them. Plus also a heavy target cavalry to come through and start causing some problems as the town center goes down. Jollyman with a gigantic villager lead. Let's have a quick stock take on upgrades. Missing himself Bowsaw. Now getting himself irrigation. And quarry to come. And when he hits the heroic age. On the other side, Chemo, nearly every upgrade. Just missing the farms and the quarry. Oh, and the carpenters. He doesn't really need carpenters because he's already got the upgrade from... what's it called? From Golmang, which boosts his wood gather rate by 15%. But nonetheless, this is going to be a very, very difficult army to deal with pure Chariot Archers. Jollyman almost needs to just... And he is going to be going into it. He needs to go into Spearmen here. You can kind of go into Camel Riders, but you need a lot of them. And generally speaking, it's a tough one to actually deal with this. But a whole bunch of Spearmen, a bit of a tech switch into Spearmen here is going to be really, really big. Now, Jollyman here, with this amount of Chariot Archers, with some good hit and run, he might be able to snipe a couple of Target Cav on the retreat. Are we seeing some barracks upgrades coming in? Not just yet. This is going to be tough. This timing here from Chemo is... it's not like a thought-out timing, a planned timing or anything. I think Jollyman just kind of missed that these units are getting built. Probably because Chemo hasn't built built a unit at all in this game, and he just pops out with all of these cavalry. But now the Spearman is going to be coming through. You need the upgrades, you need all the Spearmen out. There's a huge amount of resources in the bank here. Fighting underneath this Migdol stronghold is not going to be enough to keep those Chariot Archers alive here, as Target Cavalry with 42% PS armor, 223 HP. They're going to stay alive for a long time. Now, one thing that Jollyman could do is start to train his Spearmen into his barracks here. As now the Mythic Age comes in. Jollyman with a very small amount of food. He goes for the... I would argue this is probably the wrong upgrade to get at the moment. You really need to get the this one here. Right? You want to get this one here, which makes the Spearmen get bonus damage versus the cavalry. But nonetheless, Chemo gets damage done. Jollyman gets himself out some Spearmen. And now the game continues. And Chemo's going to have to start thinking about some units not named champion Target Cavalry, most likely. There's the Tornado to get dropped down onto this front line. It doesn't... Tornado, it's a little underwhelming against everything that's not a archer. Very, very good against the archers, but against these high HP units, not so much. You can see Chemo is struggling a ton for population here. He's now getting himself out the Li Jing, but also Champion Tiger Cavalry to come through. He hasn't made any sort of adjustment here. And with Spear of Horus to come through, +1 versus those Tiger Cavalry, now these Spearmen should start getting some serious damage done. The problem here is that Jolly Man's advantage is slowly getting caught back up. And Chemo's going to get into his element, which is like where he is in an equal position in the late game. He's just so good at those sorts of positions. And Jolly Man now getting himself Champion Spearman. Still pumping out Spearman as fast as he can. He's still got lots of resources. Armory upgrades looking kind of good for Chemo, to be honest. He's got a lot of nice ones. As unfortunately, the Chariot Archers here blocking the Spearmen off a little bit. Chariot Archers to try and take down the Li Jing there on the back. Good control from Chemo to pull back ever so slightly, but he is slowly going down. He does pack a punch here. He does a damage area of 1, which might not seem like a lot, but when you put into it that he's also shooting 5 arrows, that's a pretty big area of effect damage. As the Golden Pagoda comes down, but doesn't do a whole lot there. Now look at these Spearmen now. These Spearmen should absolutely demolish all these Tiger Cavalry, and Chemo's going to be working this one out, or has to be working this one out moving forward. He is getting himself the Tempestuous Storm here, getting himself over this Zhan Wu. Over onto this side, we've got some guys sharing a food position. As the big fat turtle will go down pretty quickly, and now Jolly Man can start moving out across the map, looking for some villages to take out. Champion Chariots coming through, fortified town centers. We've got copper shields on the way as well. Nice little find. I'd love to see some catapult, maybe one of those old school walls to take this position out. Jolly Man's now found himself a really, really good position. He's just got to be careful, because Fire Archers will start to turn the tides in this battle a little bit if you don't micro this really well. And the micro is essentially sniping Fire Archers, making sure the numbers aren't that high on those Fire Archers while you take the fights, and then you're in a good spot. There's a couple of Spearmen to charge forward here. Jolly Man struggling a little bit on the macro here. Needs to get rid of those resources. His Spearman not in position here. And you can see he's trying to snipe down the Fire Archers on the back. He's doing a good job of it. But not enough Spearmen on this one, as Chemo going to be getting some good damage coming in. It's now... Don't want to run those. You never want to run the Spearman on top of the Li Jing. This guy will smoke those bad boys incredibly quickly. The Chemo's controlling this one. Jolly Man not able to take that fight all too well. Chemo manages to win that one, and now Jolly Man is yet again finding himself in a difficult position. Does find a nice little choke point here, however, for his Spearmen. The Spearmen are popping out into the fight to take out all those Tiger Cavalry beautifully, and they don't cost that much. The Tiger Cavalry cost a huge amount of resources, so this sort of a trade here is really, really good for Jolly Man moving forward. As Chemo pulling back, and we'll see what he can do in this game moving forward. Town Center coming up for Chemo over here as well. It's the Qinglong on the way forward. We'll see if these Spearmen can get in here and take out a Deuterino or anything. He's looking for raids. And at this point, realistically, I think that Jolly Man's army might be better, and he should probably stop splitting up and just trying to take a fight. If we can get to a full pop or something, sniping down the Qinglong and dealing with those. But a nice little raid over here to take out a couple of villages. Picking off the hunt villagers here is going to be a big assistance, but losing this position here going to be tough. At the moment, though, I mean, you look at this army, and it kind of looks like Jollyman will be able to take this position. He does have to be careful. Huge pagoda there onto those spearmen charging forward. The chariot archers need to take out those fire archers on the back here. Maybe some mercenary cavalry here wouldn't go astray. However, the front line is melting. Those spearmen might want to just pull back after they take out those tiger cavalry and allow the chariot archers to clean everything else up. But nonetheless, he manages to hold over here. Spearmen over here still taking out villagers, still getting pressure all over the place. We've got ourselves an axe cart to come through as well. Is there a trade route started for Jollyman? He is starting that one. He's got that one going up over to here. Looking nice. And yet again, Chemo loses another fight. And I think Jollyman just needs to consolidate now. Needs to find a town center. Needs to cut off the corner. Needs to get all the gold mines. Like anything like that. Like secure this gold mine a little better. He's actually running out of gold, though. This could be a problem. There is a gold mine over here, so potentially killing off this town center is your best bet right now. As the Qinglong does end up going down here. Another Qinglong to move forward. Priests coming through. The fire archers, not the best at dealing with those priests there. As the Qinglong down to 174 HP. This one over here down to 1 HP. The chariot archers will absolutely demolish these fire archers. Arguably right now, it might be a better idea to make Shukonu in this sort of a fight. I've heard that while the fire archers are better against the spearmen, Shukonu aren't necessarily bad against the spearmen, but the Shukonu do trade pretty decently into those chariot archers as well, depending on micro. Like, obviously, the chariot archers can outspace the Chukonu. But nonetheless, we do have a catapult to come down. Priests coming through, sniping down the other Qinglong. Catapults manage to take down a ballet here. Jollyman has the right idea at the moment. Needs to get himself full population here, however, as the pagoda gets dropped down. Those chariot archers in a bit of a struggle. Villagers retreating back. Spearmen over here need to get over onto this spot. We do have 3 markets, but 2 camel caravans getting created for the time being. Yeah, probably the best trade spot is like over here to this town center is my guess. Anyways, doesn't matter. Meanwhile, Chemo's trade is amazing. What the hell? Sometimes the maps do spawn a little bit like this, hey? Where one player just gets an immaculate town center, so to speak. But nonetheless, fortified town center over here, looking like it's about to go down. Chariot archers getting left for dead almost as the spearmen making their way over onto this position, trying to take out a couple of trade caravans. So have to be careful here. Those fire archers do so much damage. And the chariot archer is going to stay in here and win this fight quite handily. Town center on the way back up as an attempt at a watchtower. Wouldn't mind seeing a Migdol stronghold coming down onto this position. But yet again, I think Jolly is just trying to do a little bit too much. He needs to consolidate this gold mine. So taking this town center for himself is kind of everything. And then he can start moving out onto the map and killing everything else off. This is now dropping down population considerably. He's out of gold on this position and finding himself in a very, very dicey situation right now. Does manage to deny the town center from coming back up. All the trade caravans. Let's just have a quick look. 41 to 51. They aren't all 51 though, right? They are. It's actually pretty close. I don't know why it's so close. Are they going to the wrong market or something? They are. Why are they going there? Please explain. Okay, well, Chemo's being nice. He says, "Hey, I see your bad trade route. Let me up you my own bad trade route." As the town center back up, however, for Chemo here, as Jollyman does get himself out the catapult, but too little, too late on that one. We see some more siege coming through here for Jollyman. Answer is a little bit of yes. But he's not quite able to get himself back up to full population. This next fight probably determines the game here, most likely. If Jolly loses this gold mine, does have a lot of gold in the bank at the moment, but let's see if he can manage to work this out. Spearmen do manage to take down those Tiger Cavalry yet again. It's almost like maybe the Tiger Cavalry aren't the unit to be building against this unit comp at all. What else could you be building here? Dao Swordsman plus Shuko Nu? And maybe they are the right units to make. You just have to control them a bit better. I don't know. Another Migdol up onto the front here to try and control the position. But yet again, it's looking a little bit dicey for Jollyman. He drops the rain down. He's got a lot of favor in the bank. There is room for maybe some Avengers here. Does he have the upgrade for... No, he doesn't have this Crimson Linen. When you've got the Li Jing, though, it's kind of tough. You've got to focus that bad boy down. Look at how strong this guy... Oh, attack. There you go. Look at... He's actually not as strong as I thought. Yes, he is. Is he? He's pretty strong. Yeah, he's pretty strong. He's going all right. Did Dao Swordsman beat the Spearmen in a 1v1? I imagine they would, right? Without any upgrades. Or specific upgrades. I mean, Chemo doesn't even have a single barracks. So, he's not going there. Let's manage to take down a couple more of these units. Chemo gets his town center back. Okay, and Chemo, it looks like he's managed to cut Jolly off of this gold mine. But Jolly's still got himself, he's got himself that 60 trade caravans. Is he empowering the market? Yes, he is. So he's getting himself a hefty amount of gold here. Chemo still hasn't fixed his own trade route, so that's that going for him. So the game continues. Village is attempting to take this gold mine for himself. Might give Chemo a little bit of an edge here. Now I guess the next movement in this game has to be... Well, let's take out the trade town center. And meanwhile, up onto the top side, we see Chemo going, all right, time for some raids up here. There's no walls up just yet for Jolly. Now, there's not an easy way to wall this off, but you definitely need to get the trade route secured here some way, shape, or form. You can see how Chemo's got the walls up all over the place here. You can still enter into the base, but you're running straight past here. I guess the same thing's happening for Jollyman, but just getting the walls up would really assist on this spot. There's a huge amount of spearmen queued up now for Jollyman. He does have himself 14 barracks, 6 Migdol strongholds as well. More Migdol strongholds coming down. He can wait him for an extra Citadel center here as well if he wants to get an extra little bit of population to play with. Chemo now onto this position, starting to build towers. Jollyman also says, it's time for a tower myself. Get out of my face. So villagers getting sniped down over here. Boiling oil coming through as well for Jollyman. Is this game getting very, very messy? So I love the Camel Rider mix in as well. Camel Rider is an answer for the Fire Archer. With the Spearman doing more than enough here. Mixing in Camel Rider with the Chariot Archer. Maybe this is something you could have done ages ago. Have to be careful with how you use them though. They're not necessarily terrible against the Tiger Cavalry. They don't beat the Tiger Cavalry, but they're not terrible against them. But now Chemo getting into his tower spamming phase here. The Quaofu just absolutely insane in terms of how fast they build towers on the front, especially when you've got the favored land as well, helping boost it up 10 seconds. I mean, it's probably like 13 seconds to build a tower on the front. Now, the good thing is that Jollyman does have himself some very, very powerful siege here, but doesn't really have the siege workshops. He's actually got 5, but they're placed all over the place, right? So he's got to get a huge amount of dudes out and quick. This Pagoda gets dropped down. Chemo to break through up onto this top side. He's so good at playing these. I still don't understand how Chemo manages to do this every single time, and he finds wins in these positions so much more often than your average top player. He's so good at this. But Jollyman, he's still managing to break through here. He does make a huge amount of mercenary cavalry. Another idea here could be elephants for Jollyman. Doesn't have any upgrades for them, but elephants to just push through the Tiger Cavalry, get on top of the Fire Archers. As Forage Protection comes down, Jollyman does have favor for another Citadel Center if he wants to. Not sure what else he'd spend it on. 75 favor for a rain. So 3,700 got food in the bank. Not that important. Is that a tower in it? I saw something pop up in this build kill. Like, what is that? I feel like I need to know. I don't know. Maybe nothing happened. I'm just gonna pretend like nothing happened. Now Jollyman looks like he's running out of steam here ever so slightly. He does have these incredibly cheap spearmen, 25 gold. But he is running out of steam as I think... Oh, has Chemo fixed up his trade route? No, not yet. Wait. Do these guys get the... I think they do. I didn't even realize. So, the trade route for Chemo, when going through How To, gives that upgrade. So you get 5% extra on your trade route, which isn't quite the 20% that the Egyptian player is getting, but still a boost on your trade route. There you go. Chemo breaking through the town center. There's still enough for a Citadel. He could drop this down and basically hold this position with some repairing for a very, very long time. These axe carts take a very long time to go down. Now Jollyman back over here to repair the town center back up. Migdol stronghold gets cleaned. As Chemo slowly expanding his influence on the land with his favored land and all the other good stuff. There is an opportunity to snipe down the guard tower that's got the thing. This Jollyman, I think you see which tower has it, right? You see the green aura around the building. So the town center for Jollyman goes down, and as is mostly the case when playing against Chemo, you almost lose the will to fight on past a certain point. And Jollyman, after a valiant game, almost managing to find the win. I think he had the win in his bag. He just made a couple of questionable decisions in the like early late game. Took a couple of bad fights and just allowed Chemo to stay around here. I mean, realistically, like if you're playing this game, if I'm playing this game and I lost as many villages as Chemo, I think I'm just tapping out from sheer like, wow, I've just lost. How many villagers were killed here? I need to know. I need to know. Statistics, military, 111 killed. And this was before Chemo, I think, before Chemo even really got out anywhere. Look at the civilian unit count. It's just look how different, look at how much of it. Oh, a couple of good decisions later, and we probably would have seen Jolly Man with the dub here, but Chemo manages to find his way back into this one, takes the dub, and is crowned the winner of this one game here. So there you go. If you guys enjoyed this one, please consider following the Twitch. If you're on the YouTube, hit that subscribe button, and I'll see you guys in the next game.